get me shook up, but now I got the cook up. And since they didn't book us, every time you look up, I'm riding. Got the top let down, leaning to the right with the bass up loud. I slide, glide, choking on that lead.
2 miles per hour, so everybody sees you.
Ride, got the top let down, leaning to the right with the bass up loud. I slide, glide, choking on that lead.
2 miles per hour, so everybody sees you.
I ride, got the top let down, leaning to the right with the bass up loud. I slide, glide, choking on that lead.
2 miles per hour, so everybody sees you.
Ride, got the top let down, leaning to the right with the bass up loud. I slide, glide, choking on that lead.
2 miles per hour, so everybody sees you.
Yeah, what you need to do right now,
2 miles per hour,
if you
so
do have any kind of any kind of convertibility in your life,
2 miles per hour,
pull over on the
so
side,
everybody sees you.
285, 75, I-30, wherever you at.
2
Hit that
miles
button,
per hour,
let that top
so
back, feel the
everybody
breeze,
sees
you know what I'm saying? Right now we got some goose in here. Shock
miles
drinking
per
some
hour,
rock. I
so
guess maybe because
everybody
it's rhyme with his name. I'm on goose, you know, I keep it old school. I like that blue
2 miles
top,
per
you
hour,
know?
so everybody
right
sees
now,
you.
turn this up, put it on repeat, let that
2
top
miles per
back,
hour,
let's do it
so
again,
everybody sees you.
Anthony Johnson, what's happening with it? Salute. Rude exposure. What it do? What it do? Yeah, we about to cook. We definitely about to cook tonight. Come in. Make sure you smash on the like button when you enter the building. And let's chop it up. Let's cook. Bruce Gas, the OG, in the building. What's happening with it? What's good with it, OG? Cassandra Mason, what's happening? Hey, them Bengals, can Joe Burrow stay healthy this year? Cassandra, they gonna stay healthy this year? I know you ready. Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready for this football season. 619 Cali Factor, what's happening with it? Salute. Yeah. He said Ravens flock Super Bowl 59 champions. Oh man, they got to get past the Texans, and they ain't getting past my Texans. But I rock with the Ravens, man. I'm pulling for the Ravens this Thursday. Come on, Ravens. You know what I'm saying? Let's start it off. I like the Ravens. That's like my second favorite team. You know what I'm talking about? Omega, big head red. What them Green Bay Packers gonna do this you know what I'm saying, starting off this Sunday, man? Cassandra say, yep, who they? She say, we going to the Super Bowl versus the Cow. You definitely ain't going to the Super Bowl versus the Cowboys. you know damn well the Cowboys ain't making it nowhere near no goddamn Super Bowl. Omega said whoop ass on Friday. Y'all ain't playing on Friday, dog, so I don't know what y'all gonna do. What y'all whooping y'all own team ass in practice? Who y'all whooping? Y'all own people, y'all own teammates in practice? Hey, but man, we gotta cook today. This whole Brian Norman Booth situation been going crazy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really spoke on it. I jumped on Mill City with Boost Pops, and you know, I ain't really get to say too much, but man, shit, that shit blew up fast. Y'all playing on? Nah, ain't no way y'all playing on a Friday. Let me hold on, Omega. Don't let me get to arguing with Omega. That's one arguing ass nigga right there. He gonna let you know if you don't know what you talking about. Even if you do know what you talking about and he don't like what you talking about, he gonna let you know. Let me see. Let me see. I'm probably wrong. That's your team, so you would know. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably wrong. The Green Bay Packers is Omega Red team, so he would know. I didn't know they was playing on no Friday, though. That's crazy. Damn, they is playing on Friday. What's going on with the NFL this season? They didn't change the kickoff. Now they playing on Thursday and Friday. Friday games all year. Anthony Johnson say we got Friday game. Man, what's going on? I don't know. This weird. So we got Thursday games, we got Friday games, and later on the season, Sunday and Saturday. Man, I don't know. I can't keep up. A1, what's happening with it? Salute. What it do? What's happening? Mark Nash in the building in that super chat. He say, "They go talking that boxing again." Salute to Mark Nash, man. What's happening with it? The Packers and the Eagles in Brazil. See, the NFL need to come up off that bullshit. Why you got the Packers and Eagles playing in Brazil? Like, man, they just trying to get, man, come on, man. Like, real talk. These players don't want to go to no damn Brazil and play. That's just like they had the start of the college football season. They had Georgia Tech playing Florida State over there in Ireland. Man, they tripping. NFL tripping, man. Don't nobody, come on, man. Y'all doing too much in the NFL. My man A1 said they about to be in Brazil clapping cheeks. Hey, man, they doing too much, bro. Bruce Gass said the NFL going to Saudi. Shit, I wouldn't doubt it, man. But yeah, like I said, y'all come in here, smash the like button, smash on the like button. I'ma cook. I'ma drop some links, you know what I'm saying? I'ma drop some links for y'all. But you know, anybody want to jump on and cook. But hey, Cassandra say Turkey Productions. NFL. hey, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't doubt it. That's crazy though. Like that shit crazy, man. The NFL season on Friday. Man, that's yeah. Like I don't think we ever had an NFL game on a Friday unless it was like a game that was rescheduled or something like that. Yeah, that's YouTube because they sure ain't paying me for an A1. Yeah, that's crazy, man. But let me turn this music down in the background a little bit so we can cook. Matter of fact, I'm gonna drop some links. I'm gonna start off by dropping the link early. Cause we gonna cook on this Brian Norman and Booth situation, man. We gonna cook on this situation, so I'm gonna drop the link early, man. Hold on real quick. Let me pin this link. So there go the link in the chat. If you want to grab the link, man, y'all welcome to grab the link. We definitely gonna cook on this little situation. Let me give y'all my take on it. Hold on. My man Mark Nash back in there. He said 10 people, please match my donation to support the show. Man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Mark Nash in the building. Always coming through showing love. Taylor Lavelle says Norman Sr. got to go. What you mean he got to go? That's his daddy, bro. Like, what you mean? Like, the thing about Brian Norman's pops, man, only thing I got to say is he got to learn, man, you can't defeat these people on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he out there, you know what I'm saying? He trying to defend this shit, you know, head on, and you can't take on all these people on the internet. You're not about to defeat the internet. You feel me? That's just what it is. And he'll understand that. You feel what I'm saying, man? He'll understand that as time go on. But he out here trying to defend things that you really can't defend on the internet. You feel me? And that's just all it is. But I'm going to give y'all my take on the whole Brian Norman and Boots situation. If anybody want to hit the link, jump up here with me and cook with me. And, man, I appreciate y'all. Cassandra, she came through and said, no problem. I'll match it. My man, Omega Red came through. She said, okay, Mark, but I better get a free hat from Keon. Hey, man, I ain't got no more hats. Hey, man. Man, I appreciate y'all. And my man, 81 came through and he says, here's support match. Now, who next? I appreciate y'all supporting me, man. Showing love. Real talk. I appreciate y'all. But man, let's get into the situation, right? Because everybody is calling Brian Norman the Duck. Now, for those who don't know, Brian Norman was sent to offer, right? Salute my man Cali Factor support. He says, I want to see Inouye fight Ball, Leonard or Espinoza at 126. Nick Ball, man. Nick Ball, that little joker can fight. That little joker can fight. Nick Ball can fight. Real talk. But let's get into this situation, man, because Brian Norman and his pops, they've been taking a whole lot of heat. And I think I'm gonna keep it real, man. I think because Brian Norman pops, man, he jumped on this shit head first. You know what I'm saying? 100 miles an hour. And he trying to defend his son. He trying to defend the situation. And doing that, you know, he want all the smoke. So the internet gonna give you all the smoke. And with that being said, Brian Norman, he's the fighter. So people are getting at him because they don't like his pops. But, you know, I mean, it is what it is. What you expect his pops to do? He going to defend the situation. He going to defend his son. But everybody calling Brian Norman a duck, saying that, you know, they was clout chasing Boots. They was this and that. And this is the thing. What's happening with it, Just Do? Like I said, if anybody in the building want to grab the link is pinned in the chat. And, you know, you come up here and cook. But the thing is, right, and I'm going to keep it real, man. I didn't want Brian Norman to take that fight. Real talk. And I'm going to explain why I didn't want him to take that fight. Because, and I was trying to explain to his pops the situation, but when I jumped in on Mill City Live, if anybody seen that, right, I was trying to explain the situation to his pops, and his pops was on defense mode already. So he wasn't even really hearing what the fuck I was saying. He was just already in defense mode. So what I was trying to say is that I didn't want Boots to take, I didn't want Brian to take the fight, not because I don't believe that he can win, not because none of that. It's because Brian Norman is, for one, he is the WBO champion, right? He's the WBO champion, right? So Boots cannot become undisputed without having to fight Brian in the first place. That's one. So with that being said, Brian Norman is only 23 years old. I looked at the situation as, why would you go before you even have any title defenses and fight the most dangerous fighter in the division out of all of the champions by far. I think we can all agree that Boots is the most dangerous fighter at 147 pounds out of Stanionis and Barrios. Out of the other two champions, the other two champions, right? Boots is the most dangerous fight by far. It ain't even close, right? So before you get a title defense, before you get a chance to, let more people know about you, right? Build your profile. You go right off the rip and go fight Boots just because the fans are trying to pressure you into doing some shit? No, because if you do fuck around and lose in Jaron Boots Ennis' hometown on the scorecards or however it may be, are these same fans gonna give a fuck about you? Nah. And you don't have a big enough name right now in your career to where you don't even know if your promotional company is going to back you after that. So you're taking too big of a risk before you ever get a chance to build your name. Why would you do that? See, we live in an era today to where you get a lot of fighters to just look at the money and say, well, we don't give a fuck about nothing. We just gonna take it because of the money. And my thing is Brian Norman is too big. Brian Norman is too young to be doing that. Bet on yourself. If you believe on yourself, bet on yourself. Look at the situation and say, you know what? Unless they just paying me an astronomical amount of money that I cannot turn down, I'm not fighting Boots right now. I'm going to build my name more. I'm going to have a few more spectacular title defenses to where now my name is really buzzing, right? And me and Boots will meet later on. Because if Boots is saying that he wants to become undisputed at 147 and that's his dream, the fight ain't going nowhere. So later on when we meet, that 1.7 million that you offering me, that's going to be 3.7 million later on, right? And later on could be 2 fights down the line. You feel me? Back into 2025. So why would you go into somebody's hometown, right, where everything is against you? You fighting the fighter that has a name. He got the name. You don't have the name yet. Put all that on the line for what? Now, I think it made it worse because when Norman Sr. was so defensive and he started trying to downplay Boots. Like, oh man, Boots ain't this and he ain't what you saying he is, because he is what everybody's saying he is. Boots is a hell of a fighter. Now, Brian wasn't saying that shit. Brian has always showed Boots the utmost respect. Talked about him very highly every time I've had Brian on here, right? But once his dad started downplaying Boots, like he ain't this and he ain't that, I think it made it worse, right? Because now people hear, well, if he ain't really like that, what's the problem? That's when you started walking yourself into a wall that you really can't get out of, right? Because, you know, people looking at it like, okay, well, now you downplaying this fighter and you disrespecting him. And if you're doing that, well, what's the problem? If the fight is easy, right? Because people start looking at it like, okay, now you talking like Boots ain't shit, like he easy, right? But I think that's where Brian Norman, Brian Norman Sr., he started saying those things, right, in defense mode, right? Trying to go at people because people like, well, you scared of Boots and this and that. So his defense mechanism is like, okay, well, Boots ain't what the fuck y'all saying he is. He this and so the thing is, man, when you're trying to fight thousands and thousands of people on the internet every day, you're going to say some shit that come off the wrong way. And I think for Brian Norman Sr., he got to realize that, man. My personal opinion is he went about it the wrong way, right? Trying to attack everybody head on because you ain't gonna get nowhere doing that. These people don't give a fuck. Like, real talk. These boxing fans and casual, they don't give a damn. Next week they gonna be on to the next story, and they don't give a damn about none of that shit, right? So you can't change people's minds. He should have just been like, look. But another thing, right? Another thing, I think pride, because Brian and his pops, they pride is like, well, somebody called me out. We ain't gonna turn down no smoke. F it. If you want to smoke, we want to smoke. But you also got to understand this is a boxing, and in boxing now, business of the boxing comes before anything, right? This ain't the streets. This ain't, if he called me out, I ain't turning down no smoke. And that's another thing they got to realize is that they jumped out thinking, okay, well, he called us out, so yeah, we want to smoke. If they had came out, Brian Norman Sr., because he really doing all the talking. If he had came out from the jump and look, yeah, they offered us the Boots fight, but hey, we got other plans, and we're gonna fight Boots later on down the road because I'm the champion, he the champion, and we got to see each other, right? And the fight is going to be bigger down the road. Yeah, you would have had a few people saying, oh, yeah, he ducking, but it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? And that shit would have been the end of it. We would have been talking about something else. But at the end of the day, publicity, whether it's bad publicity or good publicity, it's all good if they talking about you. So I think although Brian Norman is getting a lot of bad publicity off of this, it's a good thing because his name is bigger at the end of the day. A lot of people that didn't know about Brian Norman, they know about him now. Just off of this situation, of everybody calling him a duck. So, that's how I feel about the situation. I'm glad he didn't take the fight. Another thing I was telling his pops is that, bro, Brian is 23 years old. He ain't nowhere near his prime yet. Boots is damn near 28 years old. Boots is in his prime or entering his prime. It ain't no rush. It's not a rush. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't putting pressure on Boots to fight Jaron Ennis and Errol Spence and them guys when he was 23 years old. We wasn't. So, get some title defenses in. Get some more bread. The fight is going to be bigger down the line. Trust me. So, Alex in the background, I see you. You got to turn your camera on real quick so I know, you're a real person and all that. Okay, you good. You good, my guy. So, yeah, that's how I feel about the situation. Like I said, and I'll give an example before I pass it off to JB Sports. When Lomachenko was calling out Tank, and I'm only using Tank because Tank was young at the point in time, right? When Tank was young, I believe Tank probably won his title at 22 years old, somewhere like that. He was young when he won his first title. He was a champion, right? When he first won his belt, wasn't nobody saying, oh, you got to fight Lomachenko, right, before you ever have a title defense. Tank had several title defenses before people were saying, okay, when you and Loma going to fight. You see what I'm saying? He went over to Australia, fought. He fought on the undercard of Mayweather and McGregor. He had several title defenses. So, yeah, I'm glad Brian didn't take that fight. Straight up and down. Let people say what they're going to say. JB Sports, it's on you.
Hey, all right. How's it going? Everything boxing?
Oh, man, I'm good.
Yeah, like I say, that's how times have changed from boxing back in the day, man. Back in the 80s when you had like Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns fighting. Sugar Ray Leonard was 25 years old. Thomas Hitman Hearns was 22. You had a young Cassius Clay. He fought Sonny Liston. What was he, like 21 years old? But like you say, nowadays guys seem to be pushed along a little bit slowly, and they seem to get those big fights later on in their careers, late 20s, early 30s, stuff like that. It's more different than it was back in the day. And I just think it comes down to the individual fighter. You know, as you said about Devin Haney. You know, he fought for a world title when he was young and became a champion when he was young. But other guys waited a while before they was able to get that quote unquote big fight. So I just think it comes down to the individual fighter. And I think the way boxing is nowadays, man, a lot of these guys, man, you don't like the Shakur Tank fight. We don't know when we're gonna get that fight. That fight's probably gonna happen somewhere down the line, maybe in the next couple of years, man. But it's not happening where if back in the day it probably would have already happened or be about to happen if it was at the time of boxing back in the day than it is right now. So that's one thing. As far as the whole situation with Brian Norman and Jaron Ennis, I think the main thing is the money. You know, when you look at the Matchroom, when they first signed Jaron Ennis, they put up $3.9 million bid for his first fight because they wanted to, you know, put him out there with a bang. You know, that fight with it was supposed to be him and Cody Crowley. Cody Crowley pulled out of that fight due to medical issues, and he ended up fighting Avanesian. And Matchroom bid at $3.9 million for that fight. I think Boots got $3.315 million, and I think Avanesian got $585,000. Like, even though Boots did some good numbers in Philadelphia, I think that fight overall lost money, but they was willing to do that. They looked at it as an investment. So they were willing to take that hit in the first fight. But I think the second fight, I think what they wanted to do was take Boots back to Philly, find a opponent that wasn't going to cost that much. And they was going to do another fight in Philly in November, and then they were going to move up to 154 in 2025. I think that was the play for Matchroom Boxing. But here come Team Norman coming out saying they want to make the fight happen, and you know, we think we the boogeyman. We don't think Boots is the boogeyman. So they went to negotiations, but I don't think Eddie Hearn actually really wanted to make that fight. But I think due to you know, Jaron and his dad pushing for the fight, he went on sent an offer out. They declined, and he sent another offer out, and I think they sent a counter offer out, and I think they ended up being like $500,000 apart. I think their last offer was $1.7 million, and they wanted $2.2 million with the so they could clear with the taxes, they can clear $1 million. So I just think that you know, I think Eddie in the back of his mind, I don't think he really wanted to make the fight, man. I think they probably want to get one more fight in before the end of the year, and then go up to 154 in 2025. That's my opinion.
Okay, I respect that. I can't really, you know what I'm saying, even, and like I said, Brian Norman, that's my dog, that's my partner, man. But I can't really say that that Eddie didn't want the fight. I just don't think Eddie wanted to pay that much for the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause we got to look at the situation. 1.7 million to Brian Norman. That's like, that ain't a lowball number. You know what I'm saying? That's a good number. Yeah. You know, that's a good number. So I'm not going to say that's not a good number, but the thing is, you got to look at the situation from Brian Norman's standpoint. I can bet on myself, right? Continue to grow my name to where I got a much bigger buzz, right? We got to fight. If he want to become undisputed, we got to fight. I'll go get a couple more bags, grow my name at the same time, get my buzz bigger, and then when I come back to the table, shit, well, the fight gonna be worth double that. So
yeah, you're right about that. But ain't Boots gonna move up though? How long is Boots gonna be at 147? That's the problem. He is a big 147 pound. I seen him at the Bud Crawford fight with Maginov, and Crawford walked by him and said something slick to him. He looked way bigger than Crawford, and that wasn't too long after the Avanesian fight. So I just think he probably had one more fight at 147. He probably gonna eventually move up to 154. Man, I just don't think he gonna be able to stay at that weight too much longer. You know, I don't know how easy he's able to cut weight and make the weight, but he just looks naturally bigger guy. He looked much bigger than Avanesian in his last fight, and in his last really 3 or 4 fights, he's looked much bigger on fight night than his opponent. So I don't think he's long for 147. Maybe one more fight before the end of the year. I think he was going up to 154 at the beginning of 2025, regardless of if the Norman fight would have happened or not.
Well, see, this is the thing, right? If I'm Brian Norman and I'm listening to Jaron Ennis, right, and Boots is saying, I want to become undisputed at 147. No, and he was adamant about that shit. He said that he would move up to 154 if there was a big fight, right? If could get a Bud fight, specifically if he could get a Terrence Crawford fight, he would move up. But he said he wanted to be undisputed at 154 pounds. So if I'm Brian Norman and I'm looking at that, right, you ain't gonna be able to fight everybody that got the belt within, 6 months.
Yeah.
So obviously you staying at 147 for another year at least. You see what I'm saying? So I'm looking at him like he ain't going nowhere. If I'm listening to him and I'm looking at the situation, well, he gonna be here. I can get 2 more fights in, 2 title defenses on Top Rank, get my buzz bigger, grow my name, and he's still finna be the champion because ain't nobody gonna beat him, right? One of those fights might be a unification for me, right? And then the fight could be a lot bigger. So I think is that Brian, man, bet on yourself. And I think that's what he was doing, betting on himself. Now we acting like this is just a foregone conclusion. If Boots stays at the division, because he said he wanted to be undisputed. Well, if you want to be undisputed, you got to stay at the division. You're going to have to see me anyway. You going to have to come back and see me. Straight up and down. You got to see me anyway. So, I mean, that's how I look at the situation. Let me get these super chats. My man, Cali Factor, says, I want to see it. Oh, yeah, I read that one. My man, A1, back in the super chat, he says, I second that. Omega said, I want a hat to shit or a light up sign to hang on the wall. Shit, man, I ain't got no more hats. I'm gonna have to make some more hats, right? My man G5, what's happening with it? G5 in the building. What's happening with it? So yeah, that's the situation. Yo, Alex.
Yeah.
Go ahead and cook, man. What's your thoughts on the whole situation?
On the Boots and Brian Norman situation?
Yeah.
I just agree with you. Really, I wasn't really too focused. I know I've been in camp, so I haven't really been on the internet and all that. So I just got back and I'm seeing this Brian Norman situation. So yeah. But I came here just to ask you who you think Tank gonna fight next.
Well, I think Tank gonna fight next. Man, when we get into them situations, man, like who Tank gonna fight next? This is the thing about YouTube, man. You got a bunch of different channels. You got people that's gonna say, "Oh man, he in negotiation with Ryo." Then he got another channel. "Oh man, he gonna fight this guy. He gonna fight this guy." Man, I don't know because there's so many different things, right? Like you hear, like I said, one day you hear, okay, well, you know what I'm saying, him and Ryo in talk. Then the next day you hear, well, Ryo said no because he don't want to move down to 135 and Tank don't want to go to 140. Like shit, bro. I don't know. Like Ryo would be a good fight, right? But the thing is that Ryo is the champion at 140 pounds.
And Ryo trainer Robert Garcia came out the other day and said that Ryo not gonna fight the rest of the year. He said Tank want to make the fight at the beginning of 2025, somewhere in February or March. They be willing to take that fight, but they say Ryo's not fighting the rest of the year. So Ryo's out. I heard a rumor that De Los Santos ain't fighting no more the rest of this year either, which don't make no sense because he ain't fought since he fought Shakur. Shakur hasn't had a fight since they fought. So I don't know what's going on with him, but that might just be a internet rumor. So I don't know. Maybe Floyd Schofield, maybe a guy like that. I don't think the other champion, Berinacek, is going to fight him because I think the Top Rank is setting up Keyshawn Davis to take that belt off Berinacek. If he wins his homecoming fight November 8th, I think they're going to set up that fight with Keyshawn and Berinacek for that belt. So that's what they're going to do with that. So Tank don't have a lot of options. Maybe a Floyd Schofield, maybe Golden Boy, be able to send him over there to the PBC and fight on Amazon Prime. Maybe that's a fight. Or I really don't see too much outside of that, man. Maybe De Los Santos, if that internet rumor not true, or Floyd Schofield.
He definitely ain't gonna fight no Schofield. Like you got to think, man. First of all, if Gervonta Davis fought Floyd Schofield, I would fucking be on his helmet. I don't give a fuck if you're a diehard Gervonta Davis fan. You gotta be on his helmet. Like you can't go out and fight no Floyd Schofield at this point in your career. Like you know what I'm saying? That I don't that ain't happening. If Floyd Schofield and his dad wouldn't even take no Tank Davis fight right now. That would crush that kid's career.
Yeah,
that shit would crush him. You know what I'm saying?
I was watching. No, my bad.
I definitely don't see that happening, but I mean, if you're saying that Robert Garcia is saying that nah, he not fighting to the top of the year, and then Pitbull is who they really wanted to fight. That ain't the goal. Pitbull just lost. If you saying De La Santos talking about he staying out the rest of the year, I don't know what the hell going on with him. If De La Santos is really saying that shit, he don't deserve to get a shot at nobody, even when he come back. Because bro, you ain't fought since November of last year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, or November, well, it's almost been a year, my bad. You ain't fought since November. What the hell you talking? Well, yeah, last year, November last year.
Yeah, he followed that NASCAR, whatever that big race they have down there in Vegas on a Saturday.
Yeah.
They fought that Thursday before that Saturday.
Yeah, he ain't fought since November last year. So what the hell you mean you ain't gonna fight? Not taking no fights into the top of the year. You ain't even in a position to say no shit like that. So I don't know what's going on. If that's the case, you know, with Gervonta Davis, man, you looking at the landscape and maybe he might stay out. Maybe he might not even take that November date.
Yeah.
Because September. We in September. He was already complaining about Amazon Prime and BBC, his last fight, not promoting it with him. So how you going to promote if you're supposed to fight in November, right? On November the 9th. What was it? November the 6th, something like that. Early.
Yeah, November 2nd. I think that's the date they took in. November 2nd.
November 2nd. You gotta understand. You gotta promote it so people know. People gotta be able to get their shit booked for Vegas, they plane tickets, all of that shit. And your fights ain't cheap. Your fights are expensive as hell. So with that conclusion, with that being said, I don't think he's gonna fight the rest of the year.
Yeah, because I was watching Showbiz, right? He just posted a video saying like Manny Pacquiao was his next opponent. I was like, ain't no way Tank's gonna fight no man.
Well, like I say, man, these dudes will say they'll post and say anything. Ain't no way in hell Gervonta Davis is fighting no motherfucking Manny Pacquiao.
Man, if he does that, because I'm a Tank fan. If he does that, man.
And see,
he looked so bad in that exhibition. Pacquiao looked bad in the exhibition. I think they was talking about him fighting Barrios. Pacquiao, he had an exhibition a couple of weeks ago over there in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. And he looked so bad and so past his prime in that fight. I think that even killed the Barrios fight because they're not even talking about that fight no more. So I doubt if he's gonna fight Tank.
Yeah, and the thing is like, man, people gotta stop making all these stories up about Tank and even his team. Like, let that man talk, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe none of that shit that be coming out. When Tank, when he got some shit on the table, he'll come out on X and he's gonna say some shit.
Yeah, once he starts talking on X, you know he's preparing for a fight.
Yeah. James Brody says, what about Keyshawn Davis? Well, Keyshawn got a fight coming up soon, and I think his fight is in
November 8th.
His hometown, Norfolk, Virginia. That's gonna be November 8th. It's gonna be on Friday.
8th. Yeah, he got a fight coming up. And plus, on top of Keyshawn having a fight coming up, Kenny say a lot of shit. So I don't know if you want to, take this and run with it or not. But Kenny said that Gervonta Davis will never fight Keyshawn Davis. That's what he said. He said Tank will never fight Keyshawn Davis. Now I don't know why you would say some shit. I don't know why that would be written down. Like, I'll never fight Keyshawn Davis when you look at this landscape at 135 pounds. Keyshawn Davis is definitely one of the top fighters in the division. Why you would never fight him? That's what Kenny said. He said that he'll never fight Keyshawn Davis at all. And no way.
I don't know if she. I know he's not gonna fight him next, man. That could be a big fight down the road. Say Keyshawn beat Berinacek and Keyshawn get the belt. He's the WBO lightweight champion, and Tank got the belt. He got his belt. Maybe get the belt from Lomachenko. Lomachenko fight him next year. That would be a unification fight. So why wouldn't he want that fight? That don't make no sense. Kenny saying.
He said it on several different occasions.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like I say, Tank don't have a lot of options. I'm thinking about Albert Prelo go to 140, but Prelo got a mandatory against Sandor Martin, so that's out the question. That was another PBC fight I was thinking about. So I don't, it's just not a lot of options. They better hope that De Los Santos rumor is not true. If that's not true, I would think it would be De Los Santos. I think he's ranked number 3 in the rankings for Tank's belt. Tank's got the WBA belt. He's ranked number 3 in the WBA, De Los Santos. So I think that would be the likely opponent. It'd be an in-house fight for the PBC.
I actually like that fight. People that know that was all here watching me when I was doing live stream.
Oh yeah, I remember you because they were talking about how if Shakur was like. So I remember you was talking about it, and you they have Tank.
I like that fight when before he beat Frank Martin. I said that I wanted him to beat De Los Santos to fight, right? I said that I've always thought that De Los Santos is a better fighter than Frank Martin. It had nothing to do with Tank fighting him in the situation with that. I've always felt that De Los Santos was a better fighter than Frank Martin. And before Tank picked Frank Martin, I said that I wanted him to pick De Los Santos. I like that fight. At that point in time, De La Santos was coming off fighting Shakur, wasn't on a long layout. I thought that was a fucking great fight. I thought it was great because of the Shakur and Tank situation, right? Shakur received a lot of slack about the performance with De La Santos. Right? Tank go out there and fight him. He knocked him out. That would have made that fucking story with Shakur and Tank much bigger. You know what I'm saying? It didn't happen that way. I like the De La Santos fight right now, but my only question is, what type of shape is De La Santos? He's been out of the ring almost a year. Has he been training? That ain't for Tank or nobody his opponent to worry about. But that's just the question I have because we ain't really heard nothing from him. So but I like that fight though.
And I heard a lot of people saying, because you know how Teofimo just posted that video with him training with Canelo. They said, "Oh, maybe Tank and Teo." I don't think that's fight happening either.
Nah. If Tank and Teo was fighting, we would have already heard about it because that's a big fight that you got to have. You got to build. You got to have more than less than 2 months to build that fight up. That's a big fight. When a fight. Tank and Shakur, Tank and Teo, Tank and Ryan rematch, Tank and whoever it may be. When those big names fight each other, we're gonna know about it at least 4 months ahead, of time. At least.
Yeah, Teo, he's supposed to fight Brian Norman Jr. September 27th, but he turned that fight down because he said he didn't want to be fighting on a Friday. That fight was going to be on a Friday on ESPN. Now the college football season started, a lot of these top-ranked fights going to be on Friday. It's not going to be on Saturday. So for some reason, Teofimo Lopez felt some type of way about fighting on a Friday. So they killed that fight. That's what actually got all this started, I think, man. Because Brian Norman would have got, Teofimo Lopez would have accepted that fight. We would have been talking about Brian Norman and Bruce Ennis. He'd been fighting Teofimo. So that was the original plan for Top Rank, but that fight fell through. So I don't know what Teo gonna do. He's sitting there training with Canelo and his trainer Eddie Reynoso. But what's gonna be your next move, man? You need to be trying to get in there with one of the champions at 140. It don't seem like he's trying to do that. He called him out Crawford, which is a pipe dream. Then he said he might entertain a fight with Boots, which is a pipe dream too. I don't see that happening. So I don't know what Teo doing. That would be the logical fight, Teo versus Tank, because the PBC just got through negotiating with Top Rank for a Loma fight. That fight fell through. Top Rank could have said, okay, Loma fell through, but how about our other top rated fighter, Teofimo? Would y'all like to make that fight happen? Maybe they might be discussing that behind the scenes. But like you said, everything boxing, if that fight was being negotiated, it would have been elite. It's too big a fight, but not to been elite that they in negotiations. Just like we knew about the negotiations with Tank and Loma, we would know about the negotiation with Tank and Teo. So I don't think that's gonna happen.
And Teach says you don't need to build Tank and T.O. In my opinion, it's already popular. But it's not. It's not just about building the fight, right? Because you got to understand is that a fight of that magnitude is not cheap. So you got to give time enough, right, to get their hotels booked. That shit is expensive. To get their fight ticket, that's expensive. Plane tickets and all of that, right? You got to give the people, right, a chance. That building the fight is not. You can't just be like, okay, let's go fight next month. And everybody go to Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? So a fight of that magnitude is going to be very expensive because you got to pay both fighters. So yeah, they want to build it. They want to have, these 4 months ahead of time. Like we knew about Ryan Garcia and Tank. Shit. How many
They found out about that when, because you remember, like they have like a warm up fight, like, and then
yeah. So we had been knowing about that fight.
That's what built it up so much.
Yeah, so it's not about building it at the sake that people want to watch it. Everybody gonna want to watch it, but you can't just drop shit on people the last minute. They got families, they got mouths, they got, what I'm saying, they got jobs, they got all type of shit. You got to give people time enough to plan and to have their funds allocated for to be able to attend an event of that magnitude.
Yeah. Hopefully, the PBC, they announced that Tim Tszyu fight October 19th. He fighting the WBA junior middleweight champion Marcavelli. And I heard that PBC finna have a rollout. So hopefully we'll find out what Tank gonna be fighting, if he gonna be fighting, and Fedor, Spence, if that fight gonna get done, and the rest of the lineup for the rest of the year get announced here in the near future.
I definitely don't think Spence is coming back sometime soon. I don't think Spence in Fedora. I don't see that fight happening. I mean, ask yourself. We already in September, right? Does Spence have a train? Have we heard?
Nah, he ain't announced no trainer yet. They announced one.
No, Spence is training. Like we don't you can't go into no fight of that magnitude. You ain't ready. So, and then if you just if you look back on everything, every time Errol Spence has had to fight, like for the past 5-6 years, right? And they tell you, oh, he's gonna come back this day. It's usually ain't that day, it be months and months and months. Damn, you know what I'm saying? Might be 6 months down the line. He don't never fight nowhere near when they say he gonna fight. Never. It's always.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, they said December 14th, but that's what I was hearing. The date I was hearing, that's what David Benavidez is supposed to be on the undercard too. That's a co-main event against maybe Jesse Hart. They saying maybe Spence Fedor December 14th. We're in September now. You got October, November. Yeah, it is kind of close though. You basically got 3 months. It is kind of close. You should have had something already announced by now. You should have some pictures of Errol in training, because he ain't been training in a while. I don't know how much weight he gonna have to cut, so he would have to be in training by now. At least weight reduction type of training going on right now.
Yeah, you got a lot of feedback on your Alex. You got a lot of feedback. You got like a lot of noise in the background.
Oh, my bad. It's probably my mic. My bad.
Okay. Yeah. So as far as Spence, man, it's just like I don't know. Like what was like I'm here. I heard from people, I heard from people that he was kind of, deciding on hanging it up. Did he even want to come back? So if you got those thoughts in your head, do you really want to come back and fight a Fedora? If you got 1 foot out the sport already, I don't like that, man. I support Errol Spence. That's my guy, but I don't rock with that. I don't like. I wouldn't bet on no fighter that already have 1 foot out the door.
Yeah. He's been quiet. He's been very quiet. He ain't really been talking. He's been very, very quiet since the Crawford fight for the most part. So We'll see. I hopefully, like you said, he lost to the number one pound for pound fighter. There ain't no shame in that Crawford fight. It probably would have been a little bit more competitive of a fight if that fight would have happened a little bit earlier. Probably after Spence had fought Kell Brook or something like that. You kind of seen that Spence was not the same fighter at 147, in my opinion, in the Mikey Garcia fight. Even though he dominated Mikey Garcia, his punches didn't have the same effect on his opponents like they did before that Mikey Garcia fight at 147. So I think actually after that fight, he probably should have moved up after the Mikey Garcia fight. He still was able to have some fights and win because he's a good skilled fighter. But when he got in there with Bud, you need to be on top of your game, fighting a guy that really style is not that great for your style of fighting. You put that on top of that, that's what we seen when they end up fighting. The style matchup wasn't great for Bud. I mean, Errol, but Errol probably still could have put up a better fight if he would have been, at his best at 147. That was probably 3 or 4 fights before they actually ended up fighting.
Yeah.
I think that contributed to the one side of the fight.
Is how you lost, right? I don't give a damn who you is. A loss like that, a beat down like that shit sticks with you forever. You can't forget about that type of beat. You know what I'm saying? You really, you can't. And I don't think he's the same mentally. I don't, because like I said, when I heard him doing interviews when, leading up to the Frank Martin and Tank fight, he didn't sound like he wanted to fight no more. He didn't. He was just like, he was talking about how happy he was being on the promoter side, not having to be in the ring taking punishment, right? If you still in that fight mode, that mentality, you ain't talking like that. You talking like, man, I missed this shit. I can't wait to get back in the ring myself. You feel me? He didn't have, his energy was the complete opposite of that. His energy was like, shit, man, I'm relaxed. I like being on this side. I ain't got to worry about training. I ain't got to worry about taking no punches. I ain't got to do none of that shit. It's like, you got to see that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my guy, but I'm not going to pretend like I didn't see the energy. His energy was like, nah, I'm just, I might come back. Y'all might see me again. I might not. It's like, I ain't really I'm trying to get out of this shit with all my faculties. I'm not trying to, be like these old fighters broke and can't talk and, all of that. He was saying all of that. So that lets you know that he don't really want to fight no more. I think with Errol Spence is a part about it. He don't want to fight no more, but he also don't want to go out like he went out the last fight. So it's kind of like he in a rock and a hard place. You know what I'm saying? Like he's in a tough space right now. Plus, it made it even worse when now you ain't got your trainer that you've been with since you were 15 years old. Your trainer that you was with all through the Olympics, all through, your whole career.
Yeah.
Errol Spence he was already stuck in his ways. You stuck in your ways already. Now you got to, and another thing, right? You got to think, if you get a trainer, it got to be in Dallas. He not finna leave them kids. EJ ain't never left for training camp ever. He ain't never left for training camp.
Yeah.
Ever. So who you gonna get to train you that's really like that in the Dallas area?
Yeah. He had to get a trainer to come down here and train with him down there in Dallas. Have to spend the camp down here, wherever it is, a month, 2 months, whatever it is. They had to come down here, and I don't know. He had to pay. I had to come out his pocket paying for the the hotel room or whatever it is. The expenses from coming down here. That's part of it. I don't know, but yeah, he definitely. If he gets a new train, he definitely had to get him to come down there to Dallas.
Yeah, so I don't see that. I don't see that taking place, and I think that's why Errol Spence is so quiet. Why we ain't seen nothing from him? Because if he really if he had picked a trainer, we would already know by now, right? I mean, what you hiding for? You know what I'm saying? What's the secret? If you picked a trainer and you got a permanent trainer, what's the secret, right? So I mean, I think we see all the writing on the wall. People just don't really want to, accept it. But he good, you know what I'm saying? He made a shit ton of money. It's just, going into a Fedora fight that's a dangerous fight.
Yeah.
Dangerous fight. You go out and you take another L. Now you didn't basically ruin your legacy. You didn't ruin your legacy because people ain't gonna remember that nigga with the shag that was thumping down on shit. All people gonna remember then, right? Is damn man, that nigga got beat the fuck out by Bud, came back and got beat up by Fedora.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he gonna get beat up by Fedora, but it is a possibility that he do get beat. Now you not only going out with one loss, you going out with 2 losses. So I think he got to think about all of that shit, and he is considering all of that.
Yeah, they got to make a decision. You know, I think the WBO they called for negotiations to transpire between Crawford and Fedor. I don't think Crawford gonna go into negotiations because he's just looking at the Canelo fight. He's not really looking at nobody else. So when their negotiating period ends and then they can go into another direction, they free and clear from the Crawford obligation. It'd be interesting to see what Fedor go if Spence fight ain't there. Because that's what I'm thinking with Team Fedor. I think they do believe that the Spence fight is there. They just trying to go through the process with Crawford. You know, through the negotiation process. There ain't no negotiation going on, but they got to go through that process, so that process can play itself out, and then they'll be free and clear to hopefully hold on to their belt and pursue a bigger fight. So we'll see whether that be Spence or if it ain't Spence, then I hard to see them having another fight that's bigger than Spence or Crawford. So they're gonna be in a bad spot. You know, they coming off a big win over Tim Tszyu. What's gonna be the next opportunity for Fedor if he can't get Spence? You know, who the PBC have him available? Because Tim Tszyu got a fight coming up in October, so that rematch is not available to him. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of opponent they have for Fedor if he can't get the Spence fight.
But Fedor, man, he's not in a spot to where he ain't rushing. Like he hella young. He's the champion. You feel what I'm saying? So Fedor ain't studying nothing. He good. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of guys at 154 that he could fight. He with PBC, he locked in, like he don't have really nothing to worry about. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody looking at Fedor like, man, he got to fight such and such. His next fighter, he ducking. He don't have that heat on his back like that. So, you know, it's a lot of fighters that Fedor can fight at 154. As for Rachel, salute Queen. Rachel says that they say Errol back with Blu-ray. I hope so. That's a lie. Errol ain't back with Blu-ray. You know, it's funny how people come out with their rumors every time they think Errol Spence is, you know, maybe got a fight coming up. They say, oh man, Errol with Blu-ray. Blu-ray is not even the boxing trainer. He's a strength and conditioning trainer. But yeah, Errol, and he not back with Blu-ray. People will say anything. You know, Blu-ray tell you that. Omega said it, not no Malik Scott either. Hey, you crazy as hell, dog. Hey, Omega Red funny as hell.
Yeah.
He said it'll be like Roy. We ain't gonna talk about my guy. We ain't gonna do that. Not tonight.
He was working with Roy for a little bit, wasn't he? About a couple of months ago, he was working with Roy. A lot of people thought that was gonna be his next trainer, but I don't know if that was just something he was just doing while he was in town. Maybe he was in Florida or something, or maybe Roy came down to Texas. I don't know what happened, but yeah, they speculating about he could be his trainer, Roy Jones.
That shit would have turned out uglier than motherfucking Seal and Preston having a baby. That shit got ugly. You know, him and Roy Jones is not a match. You gotta be a very athletic because Roy swear up and down he doesn't try to train fighters the way that he fought, but we all know that ain't the case. He do be, you know what I'm saying? Every fighter that you've ever seen train with Roy Jones, they trying to do shit that he did in the ring. You gotta be who I think will be a good fighter for Roy Jones to train. What's that UK fighter that got that's real slick and be doing that crazy shit? That UK fighter, black light skin,
guy.
Yeah,
what weight he fight at?
I think he might fight at light heavyweight. What's his name, man? he would be dope if he trained with Roy Jones, man. That should be a match made in heaven. What's his name?
He say he fight at light heavyweight.
He gonna be on that Saudi card. Ben Whitaker.
Ben Whitaker. Yeah. He gonna be on that Saudi card, October 12th card. Yeah.
Ben Whitaker. Him and Roy would be a match made in heaven. Jaron Ennis. And you know, Bozy is a great trainer. Bozy is a hell of a trainer, and I would never say get rid of Bozy, but like say if Bozy and Ennis added Roy to the camp, that would be a great match because you have to be very athletic, right? Because to be able to do some of the shit that Roy Jones was able to do. But everybody ain't for Roy Jones to be trained. Real talk. But Ben Whitaker, man, Roy got a hold of Ben Whitaker. That shit would be that man. I think that they would be a hell of a team.
Yeah. You know, Roy, he trained Chris Eubanks Jr. for a little while. He had some moderate success with Chris Eubanks. He did all right, but Eubanks moved on to another trainer. Now you got Bomac, but he worked with two fighters.
Eubank was trying to fight like Roy, and although Eubank had some athleticism, he didn't have enough athleticism to be trying to fight like Roy. And you seen when he got his ass knocked out because of the defense. Roy never had good defense. He was never fundamental. Roy was always, his shit was just God-gifted talent, reflexes, quickness, speed, and you know, all of that.
Yeah.
He was just, you know, athletically gifted, and his fighting style that he had went perfect with it, right? Until it didn't go perfect no more because you get older, you know what I'm saying? I'm in my 40s, you know, like you slow down. Your reflexes ain't like that no more, you know? Yeah. And when he started slowing down and his reflexes left, you saw that he didn't never learn the fundamentals. But that was the difference between Roy and Bernard Hopkins.
Yep.
Roy was light years ahead of Bernard Hopkins when they was in their prime, right? But now, who aged better? You know what I'm saying? Bernard Hopkins aged way better than Roy because he had the fundamentals. I think another fighter that could have, if he wanted to, that could have went on and kind of been like a Bernard Hopkins, but he suffered knee injuries and things like that was Andre Ward. Andre Ward was, man, when it comes to the fundamentals and just he was very good at everything. Might have not have been great, but at things, but he was very, very good at everything and was a fucking dog.
Oh yeah, he a dog. Well, he's a great inside fighter. Could fight on the outside. Like I say, he wasn't never great elite at any one thing, but he was very good at everything. Man, he was just man. Then he, like I say, he had that dog high boxing IQ, and like I say, his best, most impressive win was when he beat Crusher. Kovalev at that time, Kovalev was knocking everybody out. He was that boogeyman at that time.
Yeah, he was him.
Able to go in there and beat him twice.
He was him. And the thing is that he was forced to move up to 175. You know what I'm saying? Like he was a 168-pound fighter. They forced him. HBO forced him to move up because they was like, nah, we want you to move up because basically wouldn't nobody fight him at 168. You know what I'm saying? They was all him. They all ducked him, and like when he got after that Super 6, he was getting ducked by everybody.
Yeah, ain't nobody want to fight him. Yeah, if he dominated Carl Froch in that finals of the Super 6 and dominated that whole tournament, ain't nobody want to fight him. Yeah, they had a hard time. Chad Dawson ended up getting in the ring with him. Everybody was excited about that fight, but he dominated Chad Dawson. I don't know why Chad Dawson went down from 175 to 168. You should have made him come up, or y'all should have met at a catch weight. That was a bad move right there going down to 168. I don't know if he would have beat Ward anyway, but I think it would have been a more competitive fight if he'd have fought him at 175 or maybe 172. I don't know where in the world I went down to 168.
He wouldn't have beat Ward, man. Ward was just too much of a dog, and styles make fights. That style that Ward had, you know, because you got to understand, Chad Dawson, he got all of his fame from beating motherfucking Bernard Hopkins. Bernard was old at that time. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Imagine what Ward would have did to Bernard Hopkins at that time. Like, You know, Bernard was still hella good, but Chad Dawson was just too young and athletic for him.
Yeah.
That he wasn't getting off on Ward like that in no way.
Yeah, Ward was a younger version of Bernard. You know where he can be, he would have beat him. Bernard said that. He said looking at watching Andre Ward's fight is like looking in the mirror. So he knew that he was a younger version of himself. That's why he ain't had no interest in fighting Ward. He knew what would happen if they'd have fought.
Yeah,
He
man.
got beat.
And the way that he beat Chad Dawson lets you know that he was levels above Chad Dawson. Like, yeah, I agree with you. It could have been more competitive, but he still would have whooped him. You know what I'm saying? Still would have whooped him.
Yeah, I think he would have been. He was like you say, he's a better fighter. Better like more of a dog and just know how to make adjustments during a fight. Just a little bit higher boxing IQ. He probably would have beat him.
At that point in time, at 168 pounds, Andre Ward was unbeatable. Like, he was unbeatable. Wasn't nobody fucking with him. I mean, the way that you look at the fighters that he beat. Like, he whooped Alan Green when he was at the top of his game. He whooped Miguel Kessler he wasn't shit. Whooped Carl Froch. You know what I'm saying? Like, he went through everybody. And I seen Andre Durrell and Andre Ward. I seen they live stream that they did. If y'all got to catch that, Durrell ducked Andre Ward flat out. I remember that shit like it was yesterday. Durrell ducked him. Andre Ward knew Durrell ducked him. That's why they was on live. And if you look at Andre Ward, he was kind of like smiling at him, like what happened? We were supposed to fight though. And Andre Durrell was trying to go around that shit, like, yeah, no, I wanted to fight you. It was my pops. Nah. Durrell ducked him. Because I remember when after Durrell fought Arthur Abraham, if any of y'all remember that shit, after Durrell fought Arthur Abraham and I think he got hit like a late hit or something, he fell out or whatever, and said he had a concussion. Like, come on, man. He was supposed to fight Andre Ward. Andre Ward was the next in line. That was the fight. That was the fight that was next in line. And Andre Ward was calling Durrell out. And Durrell was all of a sudden fucking just went MIA because he was going to have to fight Andre Ward in that tournament. And he dropped out of the tournament. I ain't forgot about that shit. He didn't want to fight Ward. And then it was like they was talking about it like, like when they was asking him about fighting Ward, he was trying to skip over the question like, I don't know. He was making a million excuses. Like, nigga, you next in the tournament and he up next. Y'all supposed to fight.
Yeah, that was supposed to be in a fight everybody wanted to see because they thought it was going to be a chess match. But thing about Durrell, man, he probably had more natural talent than Andre Ward, but he didn't put it together like Ward. Ward, just like I said, Ward's more of a he's more motivated type of fighter, man. I think he's more committed to the sport than Durrell was. If Durrell would have maximized his talent, man, he might could have beat Ward, but he didn't maximize everything that he had. So I just think Ward was a more complete fighter and more committed to the sport, more of a dog, would have beat him.
Yep. Because remember, you right. You absolutely right. Andre Durrell was much more talented than anybody at that point in time, from 168 to 175. Like, he was that dude when it came to talent through the roof, had everything, right? Just didn't have no dog in it. He didn't have no dog. You know what I'm saying? Because like Andre Ward told him, your defense was to try to evade and get out of the way of punches. My defense was to try to set you up. I'm blocking shit, but the whole time I'm thinking how I'm going to get my shit off on you. And, Durrell, his defense was kind of more like, you know who he remind me of, but he don't have the dog as the fighter now I'm about to name. He kind of remind me, but he's better all around skill wise, right? But he got this similar right fight style, but he just better athletically gifted. Devin Haney, but he don't have the dog as Devin Haney. Because if you look at Durrell on defense, they kind of got the same defense. Like, they both use their legs for defense. You know what I'm saying? When they was in their prime. Later on down the line, Andre Durrell switched up his game. He was more flat-footed, and with like parry punches and things like that. But when he was back then, when he was young, he kind of evaded punches, you know what I'm saying, with his athleticism and his legs and things like that.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, so man, but that's a fight that I wanted to see, but at the end of the day, I think that Ward would have won the fight because he had way more dog than Darrell. When you start pressing Darrell and he got in tough situations, that nigga would lay down. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Just got hot in the kitchen. He would get out that kitchen. Yeah, he's known to do that, wave that white flag. He had a dog like Ward. Talented fighter, but didn't live up to his maximum ability. Even his brother who was less talented than him, Anthony, he was more of a dog than Anthony was.
That's why they call him the dog, Anthony the dog Darrell. And I think that shit was like and if you think about it, right? Because they grew up with a lot of my people in Flint, right? If you think about it, right, they grew up together. They not too far apart from age. Why they named Anthony Darrell the dog? Yeah. Probably because when they was coming up, right? You got I got kids. I know who is who. You know what I'm saying? I know who is who. I got kids. So when they coming up, they training. Oh, this the dog right here. This little nigga the dog. We gonna call him the dog.
Yeah.
And I think that he got that name because they noticed, okay, this is the brother that's the dog. He might not be as talented, but he a dog. That's how he got that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I like to say, like I got some of my kids, like I got kids, right? I know which ones is real tough. And then the ones that's like, nah, they ain't, you know what I'm saying? They kind of softer.
Yeah.
So you know that.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, you know which one is one is the dog, one of them the guy that's kind of laid back, more, more cautious. Ain't as aggressive as the other one is. Yep.
Man, what y'all think about this Shakur and Joe Cordina fight?
You know what I think is a better fight than people giving us credit for. You know, I heard a lot of people say it's definitely a fight that we ain't asked for, and we didn't really want for Shakur next. But due to the fact that Zepeda didn't want to fight in October, he want to fight in February, even though he got a fight coming up too. He don't want to fight Shakur. He want to have one more fight before he fights Shakur. So Shakur want to stay active, and he want to get in the fight before the end of the year. So you look at Joe Cordina, man, he was undefeated in his last fight. He got hit after. I think he got hit. I think either after the bell or when the referee was breaking it up, he got hit. He never recovered from that punch. The people don't want to look at that fight. I remember watching that fight. That was on the undercard of the Fury Usyk fight, if I'm not mistaken, over there in Riyadh. And he was definitely winning that fight before that happened, man. But after that late punch, he never recovered from that. And I don't even think they took a punch from Kakasi, the guy that did that. He never recovered from that. Ended up getting knocked out. And I did hear his promoter say that he probably stayed at the weight one fight too many. Probably should have moved up. So he should be stronger and fresher for Shakur. So hopefully he'll be able to put on a better performance. I don't think it's gonna make no difference, but I just think people probably saying he's a little bit worse of an opponent than he actually is. Man, they ain't looking at the whole situation with Cordina. His last fight, and he was a champion before that last fight, and him being a guy that's gonna be moving up and maybe fighting at a weight that he probably should have been fighting in his last fight.
Yeah, he actually bigger than Shakur. He's fought at 140 pounds before. You know what I'm saying? Like he's fought at bigger weights before back in the day, like, you know, earlier in his career. Joe Cordina was a champion. He was dominating everybody that he fought, right? Before his last fight. See, I think now, am I saying, oh, this is a real dangerous fight for Shakur? No, I'm not, because I really, honestly, the only dangerous fight for Shakur that I can see at the weight division is Tank. And I think that Zepeda could be a tough fight for him. You know what I'm saying? I think he beats Zepeda, but I think that could be a tough fight. And Tank, other than that, I don't see, you know what I'm saying, none of them guys being dangerous fights at that weight division for him, right? But with that being said, we got to understand that people hear Joe Cordina, then they hear other people, and they just go off of what people say. They never seen him fight. They didn't know who he was, so they automatically gonna say, "Oh, he fights some bum. This shit is horrible. This is trash." But if you remember when Shakur was at 130, people was calling for him to fight Joe Cordina. Like that was the fight for a minute, and it never materialized. And Shakur ended up moving to 135. Joe Cordina ended up staying at 130, and he should have moved up because I had been hearing along for a while that he was gonna move up to 135, and he didn't. He didn't move up. He stayed down and had a mishap, but that he was winning that fight, like you said, JB. He was winning that fight before he got hit with that illegal blow, and he never recovered, and then he ended up getting knocked out. It's boxing. Shit happens in boxing. It don't mean that bum. I believe ain't Joe Cordina a medalist?
I think he is a medalist. Yeah, I think he did medal. Yeah, he's a good fighter. He's explosive. You watch him fight, he's a very explosive fighter. But I think Shakur gonna beat him because Shakur is just more consistent throughout the fight. I think his consistency and his technical superiority gonna win the fight. But Joe Cordina is a good fighter. He's explosive. He had a highlight reel knockout in the fight before. Either a fight or two before the Case fight. He knocked that guy out smooth. I'm talking about out sleep. I ain't talking about no referee stop it, wave it off, or the corner throwing the towel. I'm talking about a knockout of the year type of fight deal. So the dude got power. He should be much stronger at 135. This is a proper test for Shakur. This ain't no scrub or something. People, like I say, people don't know the guy. They don't know that they're not familiar with the names. They automatically think he's a scrub. They did the same thing with Madronov. I try to tell people, I say Madronov's gonna give Crawford problems. He's a good fighter. His last fight against Korobov, man, the guy is very awkward, man. His style is very tricky. It's hard to mimic that style in sparring. It's gonna take Crawford a couple of rounds to figure that out. And that guy was actually a little bit more patient than what I thought he was, and that's why he was able to go 12 rounds with Crawford. He wasn't as reckless as he usually is. He'd have been like that with Crawford. I think Crawford probably would have stopped him a little bit later on in that fight. But he fought a very, very patient fight, more patient fight than he normally does. But he did a lot of problems with his awkwardness.
Yeah, he was damn near too patient. But like Joe Cordina, I'm gonna give a great example, right? I'm talking to my cousin. He talking shit about this Joe Cordina. I mean, Shakur fighting this damn bum and this and that. And I'm like, I said, be honest. Have you ever seen this guy fight? Nah, I ain't never heard of him before. Well, how you know he a bum? You ain't never seen him fight. You don't know nothing about him. And so that's the mentality of, majority of the boxing fans now. They only know like the big names that we talk about on a daily basis. So just because you ain't heard of them don't mean they're a bum. Another thing, if a person got a loss on their record, they think they're a bum. Like I'm arguing with somebody the other day, right, in a private conversation. He's telling me, well, Shakur ain't fought no fucking body. I said, well, he fought Oscar Valdez. He was a champion. Well, man, didn't nobody know who he was? I said, man, what you mean? No, didn't nobody know who Oscar Valdez was? I said, in De Los Santos, that was a tough fight. He said, oh, he was a bum. He had a loss. He had a loss on his record. So that just sums it up right there. You know what I'm saying? I said, do you know who he lost to? Did you see the fight? Had you seen him? Nope, none of that. So how he a bum because he got a loss on his record? That's the mindset of today's fan.
Yeah, a lot of these fans, they don't follow the real close. They're a fan of fighters, a particular fighter, but they really don't follow the sport. I can't even say they casual boxing fan. They kind of like fans of a particular fighter. They follow his career and who he fought. But outside of that, they don't really have a lot of knowledge about other fighters. That's why they kind of just, the fighter ain't fighting the fighter that they want him to fight. They automatically, ain't never heard of the guy that he actually fighting. They automatically say he a bum, but they don't follow the sport like that. They're a fan of the fighters.
Now, as far as the Joe Cordina fight, man, I think it's a good stay busy fight. You get in the bag, right? He probably gonna clear it up. He not making $5 million. Eddie Hearn cleared that up, but he said he making more than what he made his last fight. So probably making maybe 3.5 million, maybe 4. I don't know, right? But that's a good amount of money. Stay active because you fighting within 3 months time of your last fight. right? So you staying active, you get in the bag, and you don't got to sit around waiting on the next man. Because this is the thing. What if he didn't have the Joe Cordina fight? What would he do?
Yep.
Saying, tank.
Sit around next year and wait on Zapata fight, and you sitting around the whole wasting 6-7 months just waiting on Zapata with February. That's crazy.
Yeah, so you sit around. The Tank fight is not an option right now, right? That's not an option, right? That wasn't gonna be no option. It wasn't gonna be no option. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people can think and say what they want to say, but that shit wasn't gonna be no option. They have a plan for when they're gonna fight. It's gonna be in 2025, and it wasn't gonna be no option right now. So why would you just sit around? It wasn't nobody else on the table for him to fight. Wasn't nobody else for him to fight. You know what I'm saying? It's either motherfuckers turning it down, ducking flat out, or go get your bread. It ain't nothing wrong with that, because when we look at these fighters, right? When was the last time you seen Shakur fight within 3 months time? You ain't, since he was young.
Yeah.
Since he was still up and coming. So it don't hurt anything in the time frame. So you fight in November. Bam, you got another fight in February, right? And then you out of your contract, like Eddie Hearn said. Miss Joette, salute. You out of your contract. Like, see, people, I'm seeing a lot of people run with this narrative, right? Oh, Shakur Stevenson, man, he locked up. He over there with Eddie Hearn. He ain't gonna never fight Tank now. He ain't gonna never get to fight Tank now. He locked himself up over there so he would. What is y'all talking about? The man is in a 2-fight deal. He's fighting in November and in February.
Yeah.
So that that shit don't even make it. Like, I don't even know what the fuck people be talking about. And Eddie Hearn has said in several interviews that, see, people only repeat what goes with their narrative. Eddie Hearn saying in several interviews that Shakur was specific that he didn't want to be locked in no contract, right, for more than these 2 fights, so he could stay open for the Gervonta Davis fight when it come along, right? So he could be open and he could be a free agent in that timeline. He made that specific. But ain't nobody made no live streams talking about that. Ain't nobody repeated that, because that don't go with the narrative. You know what I'm saying? That don't go with the narrative.
Yeah, exactly. Like I say, he gonna be the co-main event to a real good card. You know, he gonna be co-main to the undisputed fight that everybody, especially hardcore boxing fans, really been waiting on. That's that Better Be Bivol fight. So he gonna be the fight on before that fight. So he gonna be on a real strong card. I think it's October 12th gonna be the fight. And he gonna get the bag, get the money, get the win. Hopefully, get the win, and then he'll be waiting on Zapata. Hopefully, Zapata come through his fight in November. You know, I was hearing that they were talking about doing Zapata and Kambosos. Now I'm hearing they talking about Zapata and Tevin Farmer. So I don't know who he's gonna be fighting, but I heard they're gonna do a big card with Golden Boy and Turkey Al-Sheikh gonna do a big card in November. They gonna have Zerlo.
If he fight Kambosos, he needs to sit all the way the fuck down. First of all, and I said the same shit about Shakur when he was going back and forth, and people were saying, "Oh man, maybe Kambosos." First of all, like, I'm gonna say the same shit that I said about Shakur. Don't nobody want to see Kambosos get his ass beat again. Like, I'm sick of seeing George Kambosos, sorry ass, get his ass beat by all of these fighters. All George Kambosos do is get on X, talk a whole bunch of shit, and can't beat nobody he be talking shit to. But people like that. Oh man, George Kambosos, he'll fight anybody. He getting beat by all these guys. He getting the shit beat out of him. Like, I don't see him continuing to get fights that he don't deserve, get money that he don't deserve to get all this fucking money for getting beat down every time he get in the fucking ring.
Yeah, he's a one-hit one.
Like, let's keep it a buck. If we really want to keep it a buck about George Kambosos, this motherfucker ain't won a fight since he beat Teofimo.
Yeah.
He ain't won a fight since he beat Teofimo, because he didn't beat Maxie Hughes. Hughes boxed the shit out of him.
He won I had a 9-3 Hughes. I had to win that fight clearly, 9-3.
Easily. I had it 10-1 I had Kambosos losing every round in that fight except for like one.
Yeah, you gotta watch, man. You gotta
Like
watch.
you watched him. Like you ain't won a fight. When did he fight T.O.?
He fought Tio. That was back what 20. When that what's that
2020?
before? That was right after COVID, around 2020, 2021, somewhere in there. After he beat Lomachenko, which was doing COVID. They ain't had no fans there. That was right after COVID, I guess, maybe 2021.
Yeah, bitch, you ain't won a fight in 4 years. And you didn't have fight after fight after fight, and you didn't lost. You getting beat on by everybody. Like, come on, man. So yeah, like I was ready to. I commented on Shakur post like, dog, why is you talking shit to George Kambosos? Like, don't nobody want to see this shit. And so if Zepeda go out and fights George Kambosos, what the fuck is you proving? Like, what? That don't prove nothing at all. I don't want to see George Kambosos fight nobody. You know what I'm saying? Go fight motherfucking Ivan Redcatch or somebody. Put him and Ivan Redcatch against each other. Nobody wants to see that shit. But
yeah,
Kevin
Zepeda need to fight Kevin Farmer. That's better stylistic matchup to get ready for Shakur. He's a slick guy, defensive minded. That'd be a good test for you. See if you can track him down and stop him.
It might be true because Tevin just posted that he back in camp.
Yeah, that'd be a smarter move by Golden Boy. If I'm Golden Boy, he ain't gonna get nothing out of Kambosos fight. That fight not gonna get you ready for Shakur. Fight Kevin Farmer, a guy that's deep, defensive type of fighter. That's that's slick stuff like that, and try to see if you can beat him and get ready for that style that you're gonna be facing after Tevin. That's what I would do.
Hey, Mark Nash, I wasn't really meaning Ivan Redcatch. I was just saying Ivan Redcatch because I'm like, just put two sorry motherfuckers in the ring with each other. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said Ivan Redcatch. I always use Ivan Redcatch when I want to, you know what I'm saying? I need to leave Ivan alone, man. But real talk.
Remember when he took a dive against Regis Prograis in that Thriller card? That was embarrassing. Why got up there and cussed out Regis Prograis because they thought Regis Prograis hit him low, dirty, and it wasn't nothing but a facade. Man, dude straight took a dive in that fight.
Now for years what happened is he got disqualified because he kept hitting Regis Prograis in his nuts. So for years I was calling him Ivan Nutcatch. You know what I'm saying? The motherfucker, he gonna go for your nuts every time he get in the ring. That motherfucker hit Regis in his nuts about 10 times and then kept doing it. Referee's like, I'm gonna disqualify you if you do it again. He come right back and did the shit again. Like, damn, man. That I like Tevin Farmer. I like the Tevin Farmer in Zepeda fight. I think that Tevin won. I think Tevin beat what's his name? Muratalla.
Yeah, Muratalla, yeah.
I thought
Tevin that was a very close fight, man. A lot of people thought he won. That was a lot of people thought I did. Yeah, I see. Yeah, he did beat him. I thought he won that fight too. Yeah, I thought he won that fight. Yeah, I think I had that fight 7-5. Tevin. It was a lot of swing rounds. I thought he won the fight.
Tevin, man, that nigga, I ain't never seen a fighter he ain't look at his opponent the whole time. Salute to my guy Tevin, but Tevin's eyes was way over there the whole time. His eyes way over here. I'm like, this nigga ain't looked at his opponent the whole time.
Yo, Tevin, man. He always been cockeyed on Tevin, man. I've always been like that, but yeah, I thought he won that fight. I thought it was a lot of swing rounds, and he kind of allowed Muratalla to kind of rally later on and maybe kind of steal that fight. But I still thought he did enough to win that fight. But when you ain't the house fighter, you the B-side, you got to make it a little bit more decisive. They trying to build Muratalla up top rank. So if it's any kind of doubt, they're gonna give it to him. So that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it wasn't no robbery. Like, I thought he did enough to edge it out, but it wasn't no robbery to where it's like, we didn't see some robberies this year for sure. That wasn't one of them.
Nah, we seen no Shakur Foster and Concepcion fight. They gonna do a rematch too. That fight just got finalized a couple of days ago. It's supposed to be. They're gonna be the main event too on the top rank card.
Oh yeah, when? What month?
I think it's gonna be November 2nd. I think maybe a week before Keyshawn fighting in his hometown. I think it's gonna be November 2nd, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And it's gonna be in Verona, New York. So it's gonna be upstate New York. They're gonna do that card. They're gonna headline the card. I don't know what's gonna be the undercard, but that's gonna be the main event. I think November 2nd, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Okay. Yeah, man. We got some good fights to look forward to, man. I'm really the fight that I'm really looking forward to is Bitterbeef and Bivol. I'm looking forward to that fight in Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois.
Yeah.
That Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois, man, it's crazy because I was talking about that fight way back in 2020. You know what I'm saying? When Daniel Dubois was on the come up, and I remember saying that Daniel Dubois was the guy that was going to dethrone Anthony Joshua and Wilder and everybody. I said, if you looking at the man that's going to do it. And, as time went on, he turned out to not look like the fighter that I thought he was going to turn out to be, right? But as time has gone on, he getting better, because he was young, man. He was hella young. And he fought some dogs at a very young age. He getting better. Ever since, he got his motherfucking eye socket broke by Joe Joyce, I definitely lost a lot of money on that fight because there ain't no way you could have convinced me that Joe Joyce slow ass was going to beat him with a fucking jab. You know what I'm saying? But I think he getting better, and he getting better, and that's a dangerous fight for AJ, man. And that fight is who gonna land that shot? Somebody gonna go. That ain't going the distance.
Yeah. The thing about, like I said, it's hard to. AJ definitely has looked better, but his quality opposition ain't been the greatest. He fought Otto Wallin, who ain't got no power. Basically, the Paulo Malignaggi of the heavyweight division, no power. So he had to worry about what was coming back. So he kind of did his thing with him, and then he fought a UFC fighter in Nagano. He had a highlight reel knockout, but you wasn't fighting no boxing.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to say, and it's gonna be a good test for him. Not do like his trainer, Ben Davison. See, like Ben Davison and work with him, and then I just seen some improvement out of AJ, man. He throwing combinations, and he seemed like he controlled the distance a little bit better. He's not tiring out like he was doing early on in his career. He's a little bit more of a complete fighter. So I like what I'm seeing out of him. It's gonna boil down to what Dubois got to do is, man, he got to clean up, man, getting hit with them right hands, man. He was getting hit with too many right hands against Herkovich. He can't get hit with them right hands against AJ. He going to sleep. So he definitely got to not be getting hit with them right hands like he got hit with in the Herkovich fight. If not, that's just going to be an early night for him. He going to get knocked out early. So if he can take away that right hand and make AJ have to use the left hand and hit him, set up the straight left hand and the left hook and make him do something else that's outside of his number one weapon, I think that'll be a good thing for Dubois, man. If he's able to withstand the onslaught early on from AJ, the longer that fight goes, the better chance Dubois has of winning, in my opinion, man, because he got stronger as the fight went on with Herkovich and made him quit. I think the same can be said for the fight with AJ. AJ, if it's a knockout inside the first 6 rounds, I would imagine it'd be AJ getting the knockout. Anything after round 7, 8, round getting in for the second half of the fight, I think it favors Dubois. But again, he got to correct some things on defense, man, because he get hit with way too many right hands against Herkovich. He can't get hit with them right hands against AJ. He's going to sleep if that's the case. So hopefully him and his trainer make the adjustment.
Yeah, he definitely going to sleep if he get hit with them right hands. Also, if AJ get hit with that shit with that thunder, that motherfucking Dubois be, you know what I'm saying? He going to sleep too. Look. Okay, we got to look at AJ, and I'm gonna piggyback on some of the things that you were saying. Right? He fought Jermaine Franklin. My bad. He fought.
Stomp. Yeah.
He fought Jermaine Franklin. Jermaine Franklin's a much smaller heavyweight. Really ain't got that knockout power like that, right? So was that a dangerous fight for AJ? Nah.
Right?
Then he came and he fought Otto Wallin, like you said. He definitely wasn't a dangerous fight, you know what I'm saying, at all.
Yeah.
And then he fought Ngannou. Now people like, damn, AJ back. He back to the old AJ. But they didn't put him in the ring with nobody that was going to be a threat to him like that. Before those fights, he was fighting Usyk, right?
Yeah.
the last showing that he gave against Usyk, the last fight, but he ain't fought nobody that was going to be a threat to him that really had that crack. And we know AJ's kryptonite is when he get in there with somebody that got that motherfucking crack, because he's scared to get, and he's scared to get hit, and he don't believe in his chin like that. I seen it in it.
Yeah.
Saying,
that's why he stopped letting his hands go for a while now. He had stopped letting his hands go because he was so worried about opening himself up to counters and getting caught or something. He didn't trust his chin. But I don't know, it seems like if he got Ben Davison, man, he's more aggressive. But like I say, he ain't been in there with no punches, so it's easy for him to be more aggressive because he ain't in there with no threats. So, like you say, it's gonna be interesting. We're gonna find out. I do like the trainer switch of Ben Davison. And Ben Davis actually going to be training Jim Cordina, too, for the Shakur fight, man. I think Ben Davis is probably one of the top trainers in boxing, man. He's a real good trainer.
Yeah, he's the real deal. I like him as a trainer, right? But the thing is, Ben Davison, he can't think for AJ. AJ still got that mentality. We looking at him, and like you said, for a long time, he was afraid to let his hands go, right?
Yeah.
He ain't been in the ring with nobody that he had to be really afraid of. And even with that being said, if you look at his fights, even when he was fighting Ngannou and when he was fighting all them dudes, he was still very cautious. He was kind of picking his shots. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Picking his shots. He was more cautious and using his jab and kind of, remember, AJ used to let them bitches fly. He used to let his fucking hands fly. Now he in there with somebody that he's been in sparred against. Now I heard way back in the gap when Dubai and AJ was sparring, Dubai had set AJ down, put him on his ass. Right? Heard that shit years ago.
Yeah.
Now, knowing that everybody know that Daniel Dubois can crack. Defense is leaky. We look at him like AJ too. Like, is he gonna lay down once he start getting punched on? Right. So both of them got that factor to them. Like we don't look at both of them as having the greatest of chins and a lot of heart. Right.
So both of them show weaknesses. Dubois, I do give him credit though. He showed that he got a little bit more tougher. Like I said, on the right hand, he was getting caught with Herkovich. He kept walking through them things. He didn't get discouraged or nothing. Eventually, broke him down and stopped him. So, and that was a legit opponent. Herkovich was a top 5 heavyweight. So he done it. He's kind of showed a dog against a legitimate opponent. AJ, we haven't seen yet with him yet. He ain't fought that type of opponent on the level of Herkovich.
We know that AJ, when you tap AJ chin, even when he was fighting Usyk was hurting him.
Yeah, sure was.
Usyk was hurting him to where you like, damn, this thing ain't even getting hit that hard. So the thing with AJ, man, if Dubai catch him, if he catch AJ first, I think he gonna win the fight. I think it's gonna come down to who catch who first, because I do think that Dubai got a little bit more chin dog than AJ do, and he got a better chin on him. He ain't got the greatest of chin, but I think when you comparing it to AJ's chin, he got a better chin. Now AJ got more overall better skill set. He got faster hands than Dubai, but they both got power, and it's just gonna come down to who can impose their will and who can get their shit off first. That's a dangerous fight. I'm gonna tell people, man, that shit ain't going the distance. I bet it ain't.
No, I don't see it either. I see it as somebody getting knocked out either early. If it's early, I would favor AJ. Probably a little earlier. If it's late on, I would favor Dubois. It's gonna be a great fight. Like you said, you picked the right 2 fights. The Beterbiev and AJ and Dubois. Them the 2 most interesting fights that's coming up.
Yeah, that's the fights that I'm looking forward to the most. I'm looking forward to them fights the most, man. And let's see what PBC gonna do to close out the year. Let's see, if Turkey got anything else coming besides that card that he got with Shakur, Bivol, and Beterbiev. I think he might have something else coming after that. Let's see what that's gonna be. But
he got the rematch. with Usyk and Fury to the rematch.
Yeah. The Usyk Fury, that's gonna be a hell of a fight, man. Hell of a fight. But I think coming into 2025, that's the year. I think 2025 is gonna be the shit to get off the toilet year. That's gonna be the year that we find out who is who. Think that's the year we gonna get Shakur and Tank. I think that, you know what I'm saying. We got Ryan Garcia crazy ass coming back. We got 2025. A lot of fucking fighters is gonna get exposed.
Yeah,
We gonna we really gonna see who is who in a lot of these main weight divisions. I'm talking about from 135 to 154 to to 140. Like all of the main weight divisions, we gonna really see who is him in 2020. Yep. That's the year.
Yeah, like you say with Devin Haney, man, he could have a fight with Paro coming up. You know, they got to come together on the terms if they're gonna offer Devin Haney enough money to travel over there for a third time. They're gonna have to pay him some big money to go back over there for a third time. So Matchroom is willing to pay. We seen with the purse bid, they're not willing to pay for certain fights, but maybe this fight they'll be willing to give Haney the bag for that fight. If not, I'm hearing Haney could be on that. He probably could be on that card with Fury and Usyk too. That card December 21st. That Haney might be on that undercard if he don't get the Paro fight.
I like that, man. But I'm gonna say this, man. If Devin Haney takes that Liam Paro fight, I gotta fucking salute him. Like, if he take that Liam Paro fight coming off the situation that he came off of, that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? He's showing, man, he got nuts to steal. Because Liam Paro is a very, very dangerous fighter. He not only can box, right? That motherfucker can crack too.
Mm-hmm.
He can crack. And if he take that Liam Paro fight, that's a dangerous fight. And right, I think that he beats Lee. I think that Liam Paro beats Devin Haney. Like, if just from the outside looking in and just me betting on that fight before I really, I think that Liam Paro will beat him. But if Devin do take that fight, can't nobody criticize Devin about shit, in my opinion, because man, that's a hell of a fight to be taken right off the rip. But we'll see if he take that fight. I'll still be surprised if he do take a fight like that coming off of the situation that he came off of.
Yeah, Matchroom will have to overpay him. If they don't overpay him, he probably gonna be on the undercard of that Fury Usyk fight. He'll probably fight a decent opponent on that Turkey Alashiki card. He'll probably fight a decent opponent. It won't be nobody on the caliber of a Power, but it'll probably be a decent opponent. But,
I think, like to me, I think Paro at 140 pounds for Devin is even more dangerous than him fighting Barrios at 147. I think Paro's I think that shit's a more dangerous fight because now you got to get back down to 140 pounds after walking around at 180, 190, right? You got to fight somebody that's not only can he crack, he can box, and he got a good ring IQ. Because if you seen what he did to Matias, yeah, man, that was ring IQ. He had a great strategy and he stuck to it. And he ain't let Subriel Matias punk him neither.
So they stayed off them roads. Every time Subriel tried to back him off that ropes, he got off them roads and backed up Subriel Matias, man. He fought fire with fight. He stood his ground and let Subriel Matias know, hey, you got power, I got power too. So you got to worry about what's coming back. I ain't gonna be worried about your power. You got to be worried about my power. So he fought a good fight. He's an underrated boxer too, man. He got dog in him too. So that would be a tough fight for Devin Haney, especially fighting him over there in Australia. So that'd be a tough fight. It'll come down to in my opinion, the pace of the fight. Haney would definitely have to slow that fight down, make that fight more of a cerebral fight where he's fighting that fight at his pace, where he's controlling distance, jabbing, grabbing, making sure the fight in the middle of the ring, throwing his 1-2 and getting out of the way and frustrating Power. That fight is a fight that with a lot of action, a lot of punches getting thrown, and it's a fight that's a fight at a high pace. that favors Parrow. But if it's a more methodical pace, I think it favors Haney. So Haney got to make him fight his style. If he fight Parrow fight, he definitely gonna lose. Just like when he fought
Haney is not.
Garcia fight and lost.
Well, see, this is the thing, right? Because I'm gonna make this reference because a lot of people say, "Oh man, Shakur and Haney, they fight like each other. They the same. They don't fight nothing like each other." And with me saying that, Devin Haney lets his hands go. Like his fight is not a methodical. We go, I'm gonna just use my jab and try to break you down, and he don't really fight like that. He let his hands go, unless he can get you and hold you and clinch you and be stronger than you, right? He's not gonna be stronger than Liam Paro. He's not gonna be able to clinch Liam Paro anytime he wants to and make him reset and do all of that shit, right? So he's gonna have to fight him. He's gonna have to fight him. You're not gonna out-muscle them guys at 140 pounds like you was able to do at 135. Wrap them up and push them back and do all of that shit that Devin liked to do, right? He was trying to do that with Ryan Garcia, and that shit wasn't working because when Ryan wanted to, he just broke out of them holes and got on Devin ass. So he gonna have to fight, and Devin, he will fight. And when the fight break out, Paro, he can fight and he can crack. That's a tough fight for Devin Haney to win, man. I don't see him winning that fight.
Yeah. That's definitely a tough fight. They got to really overpay for him to pick. Like he said, he told Eddie when Eddie asked about the fight, he said if it makes sense. So he basically said, "Man, you got to pay me for it. You got to pay him. You got to pay him by probably at least $4-5 million for him to take that fight."
Yeah, man. I'm not saying he can't win that fight, but like I said, I would have to give that edge to Liam Paro, and it's a chance that Liam Paro knock his ass out because Liam Paro can crack. You see how he got. I'm pretty sure how many knockouts he got. Like I know he knocked the Beijing out of motherfucking Pretty
Montana
Tony.
Love.
Montana Love.
Yep.
Ask Montana Love, can he crack?
Yep. He was able to, get real Matthias respect. Matthias got a great chin. He was able to get his respect, man. It's power. Real Matthias wasn't nearly as aggressive as he usually is coming through, not worried about what's coming back. He had to worry about what was coming back with him for power. Power got some good power. He got real good power. So that's a dangerous fight. Like I said, I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? The only way Haney should take that fight, they got to overpay. He got to be making $4-5 million at the very least to go over there and fight Farrell. I don't know if Matchroom gonna be able to pay him that, but that's what I asked for. You want me to come over there for a third time? Fighting a better opponent too. You fight a much better opponent than when you went over there 2 times fought Cambosa. Much better opponent. So if it go to the judges' scorecard, if it go to the judges, you're gonna have a hard time getting a decision over there too. If it do go to 12 rounds.
And my thing is your mental. Are you like you might not agree with me on this? Some people gonna agree, some people don't. My thing is that Ryan, he was on Oystering, right? I believe that Ryan took that shit at the last minute because I know I've talked to people, but I know he was 15 pounds overweight. He was 15 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? He had to cut. He cut 12 pounds the day before the weigh-in. So I think at the last minute when he brought dude in, you know what I'm saying? Whatever he did, he took the Oystering, but I think he took the shit to start, to try to cut the weight fast, right? At the end of the day, me looking at Ryan Garcia, the shape that he was in shit shape. He wasn't in no shape at all. I saw Ryan I've seen him fight before. I saw the fight before he fought Devin Haney when he was actually in shape against that dude, the Mexican dude that he fought, Oscar Duarte. Ryan was in much better shape. Ryan wasn't fighting in spurts. He wasn't having to take 2 rounds off at a time. And every time he was active in a round against Devin Haney, he had to come back and take 2 rounds off, catch his breath, you know what I'm saying? And then he would come back and he would throw punches in flurry, and then drop Devin Haney, come back, take a few rounds off. So he wasn't in shape. So I've seen people that was on steroids and that was juiced up. They don't fight like that. The motherfucker, they non-stop action. They don't get tired. So Ryan was the opposite of somebody that was on some PEDs that was helping him. So I don't think the PEDs helped Ryan, you know what I'm saying, as far as inside that ring that night. He always has had power. He's always had devastating power in that left hook. And that's what the fuck Devin was getting hit with. So with that being said, if Devin is still in denial, right, and he's still, if he really believe in his head that he didn't do nothing wrong, it was all because Ryan was on beach juice and shit like that, he ain't gonna get better, right? And you trying to trick yourself, and you can't trick your fucking own brain into thinking something that ain't true. So you're gonna go out there and your mind ain't gonna be right. You either gonna be timid and you're not gonna fight the same way that you used to fight, or you're gonna get caught again, you're gonna get your ass knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, we could see Devin go out there and it could be a case of Anthony Joshua, how he started fighting. Scared, you know, scared to let his hands go. And Devin don't have the ability to be able to fight scared like that, scared to let his hands go, because his defense ain't good enough. He uses legs for defense, and them guys at 135, like a Liam Paro, that's tall and long also. I don't know how I know he's bigger than the Vasil Lomachenko and Jojo Diaz and motherfuckers like that, right? They could close the distance a lot easier on Devin. You know what I'm saying? Them dudes, they not gonna have a hard time closing the distance like smaller fighters, right? So when they close the distance on you and you're not stronger than them, you can't bully them around. Now you got to have other assets to your game. So, man, Devin, he's very talented, but he got a tough road ahead of him, man. And the money that he asked for, he can't fight just Rudy Poos, because the money that he want, he gonna have to fight tough fights.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of like I say, the purses that he been making here recently, you know, that's why he didn't take the Sandor Martin fight, because the purse bid, when Matchroom bidded on that, well, I guess Top Rank outbid at Matchroom, and he wasn't gonna be making the money that he accustomed to making. So that's one of the reasons why he probably pulled out of that fight, said he was retired and wasn't gonna fight until next year, to when Ryan Garcia's suspension was over. But here it is, he's coming back now. It seems like he's gonna get a fight in before the year is over. So. Yeah, he's used to making a certain amount of money. That's why you talking about the para fight, or talking about fighting on the Turkey Alashiki card with Fury and Usyk rematch. So he know them two fights gonna pay him what he's accustomed to making. So that's why he's looking at some two opportunities.
I think the Sandor Martin fight was the best fight he could have took. I think that's the best comeback fight he could have took. A guy that relies on strictly boxing. He don't got no power like that, so he don't pose no dangerous threat, right? You get a title defense, you're mandatory. You keep your title, because I had him beating Sandor Martin, because Sandor Martin's a pure boxer. I don't think he ain't a better boxer than Devin, you know. So to me, when you turned that down because of the money, that just showed me where your head is at, bro. Show me where your head is at. See, Devin problem is he think he much bigger than what he really is. He should have took that shit, man. He should have took that Sandor Martin fight and you know, got a fight under his belt, a fight to where you can get a W, build your confidence back up, and then, you know, shit, man, you gonna live. You know, you probably could have fought again the end of the year.
Yep. Yeah, then we'll still end up making more than you made maybe just fighting once before the year's out. Probably make the same amount of money, a little bit more. So yeah, he could have did that, fought Sandor Martin, then still got a fight in at the end of the year. A power fight or a fight on the Turkey Alashiki card. So yep. And Sandor Martin, I know he's supposed to be fighting Albert Plalo. I know Top Rank won the purse bid. I don't know, you know, they haven't announced that fight yet on one of the ESPN cards. So I don't know if they gonna do the fight or is PPC gonna do the fight, and then when they do this rollout, they'll announce that Prelo and Sandor Martin fight, because that fight should have Well, you'd have thought it'd been already finalized by now because it was ordered about a month or two ago. So they still ain't got no date for that fight.
Oh yeah, Poyo gonna be saying though that motherfucker can fight. But let me answer Dundada real quick. Dundada says, "Key, be honest. We had no one beating Haney unless it was Shakur or Tank. Who is we? Because I could have swore I was the one that told y'all that Ryan Garcia had a very good chance of beating him. Omega, no. I was one of the only ones. Me and Money Brown was one of the only ones that kept telling y'all, don't overlook Ryan. Ryan, hey, I told you, I said, it's a 50-50 fight. Devin ain't going to walk over Ryan. So I don't know what you're talking about, we. I told people that for the longest time.
Yeah. Ryan only lost to Tank Davis. They like he had lost a, you know what I'm saying? He lost a pound fighter, guy that's, one of the top fighters in boxing. So I don't know why they thought this was some big mismatch. I thought Haney was going to win, but I ain't looking at this as some big mismatch, 80-20 type of fight. I thought it was like 60-40 for Haney, I kind of didn't like what I saw Ryan Garcia in his last fight against Oscar Duarte because I thought he struggled in that fight before the knockout. I thought Duarte was actually getting some good work in on him before he knocked him out. So I didn't like what I saw in that fight. So I said Haney, based on how he looks against Prograis, I thought he was going to win the fight. But he had the wrong game plan. He's still right in front of Ryan Garcia. He didn't come out there trying to box him like he was trying to go out there and outdo Tank. I'm going to stop him quicker than Tank did. Man, you ain't Tank, man. You ain't got that type of power. You don't know how to set up power punches like that, man. What you doing? You should go out there and do what you did against Prograis. Outbox him, maybe get a knockdown and dominate the fight and move on to the next fight. But had the wrong game plan.
Dundada, don't do me like that, dog. Don't try to say that no. Ask Omega Red, bro. Ask Omega tell you. I continue to stress to people when everybody was saying that she was a mismatch. I said, hell no. This ain't no fucking mismatch. I told everybody that. I even went on Mill City Boxing, was arguing with them, telling them that y'all continue to look over Ryan. Ryan dangerous. Ryan can beat Devin. I told everybody that shit.
Yeah.
Hey, my lady, she in the background, she said if you was watching his videos, you would know that. Real talk, I had been saying that shit. Everybody, and now like a lot of these content creators that switched up, try to pretend like they wasn't saying it, right? They was all like, oh man, it's a mismatch, man. He gonna annihilate. Come on, man. Yep, Omega said, me, Keon, and Money kept saying power and speed. Right. Kept trying to tell people that. Like, I never looked at that fight as no mismatch at all. At all. I even gave Ryan Garcia a big chance of knocking Devin out.
Yeah. One thing about Ryan Garcia, he got speed, man. He got power. Them punches coming real fast. And if your defense ain't on point, or you ain't got you got the bob and weave and able to duck those punches at a high level, man. You get caught with one of the punches, you're gonna be hurt. He got great power. Tank just knew how to deal with it. Tank knew how to stay out of that power range of Ryan Garcia early on in that fight. Even that fight, Ryan Garcia has his moments. I think what was it, the second round? He was able to back Tank up, hit him with some shots, but he just couldn't never catch Tank clean because Tank defense was so on point. Yep. Tank was able to set him up and hurt him, drop him again, make him quit. But that's not Devin Haney. Devin Haney don't have that type of power. He don't have that type of he don't know how to set them type of punches up, in my opinion. He's a good fighter, but it's just he's not, to me, he's not on the level of a Tank. So I don't know why people just assume off that performance that Devin was going to beat him just as decisive as Tank did, or maybe even more. Some people predicting that Haney was going to stop him. That was crazy. Who had Haney stopped before then? He had a knockout. He had a knockout in a while. Just that guy Moran, the guy that was on that August 3rd card, that was probably the last guy Haney knocked out.
He had a knockout since 2019.
Yeah, Moran.
And that was a lucky one right there. He just caught dude with that wild ass overhand. He didn't see coming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shit was a lucky one.
He threw that punch from the ankles too, but he got all this with pop on. He had to go real. He threw that all damn punch from his ankles.
And threw his shoulder out on that punch. Let me see. Yeah, Dundada. It's crazy because it's a lot of cats ever since Devin Haney lost, they ain't never showed back up to my channel again. Ever. They ain't showed up and said not one word. I'm talking about, man, they used to come every day faithful. Man, Haney this and Haney that, and Devin Haney's the best ever, and Lord Devin Haney and Hanos, and man, you couldn't stop him. And I kept telling them, all right, keep on. All right, keep on talking. I see a lot of holes in Devin's game. And don't get me wrong, I like Devin as a fighter, but I saw a lot of holes in his game. You know, but Devin is in a hard place right now because he started believing the shit that people around him were saying, believing that he was unbeatable. And now, right now, like I said earlier, he got to fight somebody. He can't just come back and fight any Rudy Poo. He got to fight somebody if he want that bread. And he's still in denial. He still won't admit that he did anything wrong in that Ryan Garcia fight. Still never admitted that he need to polish up some things. He was just, oh man, Ryan would have beat anybody on that night. The shit that he was on and this and that. Come on, man. Like shit is, and that lets me know that mentally, bruh, people can say what they want, but mentally he fucked up because he can't accept that defeat. So what happens? You get in there with a Liam Paro and you lose again. What happens? You get there and you take another loss, right? Now you can't get your loss erased off your record. Now you can't, and you really got a loss on your record. What's gonna happen to your mental? Then,
yeah, that was kind of crazy, man. When they had that, after they, turned that loss to Ryan Garcia to a no contest, and he had the bowling alley doing the Michael Jackson beat it, Billie Jean, and all that type of stuff. That wasn't no good look, man. You should have released a short statement and say, "I'm glad that they made a decision. We need to get PDs out the sport." And that's it. Move on. All that dancing at the bowling alley, like, man, you better go back to the gym, man, and work on your defense, man. Getting caught with that guy number one weapon, man. You should have been. If you gonna get caught with something, you should have been getting caught with the right hand. You got caught with the left hook 20 seconds into the first round. Come on, man. You know that's that man's best weapon. You know, take that away right off the top. Say, you got to beat me with something else. You ain't gonna beat me with number one weapon. You gotta beat me with plan B. Plan A ain't gonna work. He got caught 20 seconds into the first round. He got caught down and knocked out in the first round.
Because
he got to go back to the gym, work on his defense, man. Work on his overall boxing skills. Actually, be a little bit more of a versatile fighter. He's a good fighter, but he's kind of like a jab, 1-2, control distance. And he's a good fighter. He's good at his style, but he definitely needs to work on some things.
You got to have a great sense of range and distance. When it comes to that left hook that Ryan Garcia has. You see, what we got to understand is Devin had been used to fighting smaller fighters, right? Right? He could take a smaller fighter like a Regis Prograis or even a fighter like a Lomachenko and these guys that he's fighting, they're much smaller than him. He's way longer than them, right? So he could take a step back and they're out of range. With Ryan Garcia, he long and he big as hell too. So you know what I'm saying? Like, it's easier for a fighter like Ryan to get in range to land those shots on Devin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Much easier for him to close the distance. That's the same shit I'm saying about a fighter like Liam Paro. These fighters that's bigger and longer, it don't take them as much as a short fighter with short arms to get in range, to get their shit off. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And that's the thing, man. That's when your defense really got to come into play.
Yeah.
And he showed, man, his defense was leaky. It's always been that. Like I told people, man, I told people, man, I don't do all that pause shit. Like, y'all don't do all that pause shit. That's y'all. You know what I'm saying? But like I told people, man, rest in peace, Batman. Rest Gary Russell, brother. Me and him was talking. That was my partner. You know what I'm saying? We talking, and me and him was we was arguing about something. I was taking up for Devin. And he was telling me, I don't know if it was, I forgot who it was. We was talking about Devin against somebody, and I was taking up for Devin at the time. and he kept stressing to me. He said, man, Devin don't have no defense. His defense leaky. He said, man, watch him. Watch him when he throw his shit. He throw a bow and arrow jab, and he pull back, and he leave his shit open. He kept telling me that, right? So I went and I watched, and I said, damn, you ain't lying. I never noticed that. He said, man, I studied Devin because, see, he started studying Devin when Devin and Gary was supposed to fight. So he went back, he's studying shit, and then he was calling me like with all the holes that Devin had in his game that we really didn't notice because, you know, he was winning fights and he wasn't really fighting no big names like that. So wasn't shit that we was looking into. Man, he broke him down to a T. And ever since I noticed that, Devin has always had those same flaws. Ain't never fixed them. Now, with that being said, you can't fix shit like that overnight. When a fight break out, you're going to go to what you know. Yeah. All it takes is to get in the ring with the right opponent.
Yep. That's why a lot of people say that he needs to get another trainer in there. You know, he got his dad, Bill Haney, as his trainer. You know, you keep your dad as one of your as your trainer, but you need to bring in a new set of eyes, man. 4 eyes is better than 2, man. Bring in somebody else with some more experience into your corner, and y'all can work on some things, man, make some improvements, man, because he clearly, based on this last fight, man, kind of got exposed in a lot of areas of his skill set. So he definitely, I would be wise to bring in somebody else, man, bring in a more experienced trainer. You know, they had Ben Davison in there, but I don't know what happened with him, man. They ended up running him off, and then Bill was basically the head trainer for his last couple fights.
I think the thing with Ben Davison is the you know, he in the UK, so it's hard for him to get over here sometimes.
Yeah. They had Zab Judah daddy, huh? Joe Judah, he was supposed to be, you know, he was in the corner for the Cambosos fight. He was gonna be the head trainer until, you know, they gave him that they gave Bill the okay, the government of Australia gave him the okay, so he was able to fly over there and end up being in the corner. But Joe Judah was supposed to be in the corner too, but he ain't even in the corner no more. It's basically just Bill and that's it. They got some other couple of guys that are, you know, second and third assistants, but they ain't no doubt that Bill is the head trainer giving instructions in the corner in between rounds. So I think they probably need to bring in another trainer, you know. Get somebody on the West Coast somewhere, you know. I don't know. I think is Virgil Hunter is he retired? I know he had dealing with some medical issues. I don't know if he's back in doing.
I don't know. I think he still might be training, but look at it. Look at it like this, right? Right, because you putting yourself in a fucked up situation because if you go out there with another trainer, right? Now we looking at you. Well, if the only reason you got beat by Ryan Garcia is because he was juiced up and he has superhuman powers, what you need another trainer for? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You go out there with another trainer. What you need another trainer for? The only reason you lost is because he was juiced up and he was on super duper powers. Like I said, you said that was the only reason you lost the fight. It's because that's what y'all was saying. So ain't no need for no another trainer. Now, if you bring out another trainer, well, what did you do wrong? You know what I'm saying? I thought
you gotta face yourself in a corner when you make those statements talking about, you know, the only reason why he won the fight was because of Osterring. Yeah, you kind of place yourself in the corner. That means you need to run it back. And as long as he passed all the tests before and after the fight, the PEDs test, you good. You know, get him in the ring on natural instead of on Osterring, you're gonna go and beat him according to you. So yeah, he do kind of put himself in the corner. Stick with the original team, because that wasn't the problem.
So you put yourself in a bad situation, and when you ain't always keeping it real, that shit eventually gonna come out. Like I said, I think that Devin is a real good fighter. I think that he's a dog. One thing that I learned from him in that Ryan Garcia fight is you is a dog. He ain't have to keep getting up. You know what I'm saying? He could have laid down several times, and he kept getting up. And he not only kept getting up, he kept fighting. You know what I'm saying? He got that dog in him. But sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you get that dog beat out of you too.
Yeah, sometimes it's not the worst thing in the world to get like knocked out early or get one of them highlight real knockouts, and you know you live to fight another day. But you take a sustained beating over a 12-round fight, that could be detrimental to the rest of your career. So
Like,
we'll have to see how they look in this next fight if that's the case.
yeah, and I hate to use him as an example, right? One of the biggest dogs we knew was a fucking dog was Errol Spence, and he might have got the dog beat out of him.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. Sometimes, you know, you just like, shit, fuck this. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Because do we see? Because it's a different type of dogs. It's dogs that just ain't got it all upstairs to where you like, this motherfucker stupid. He keep getting up every time he get in the ring. He getting beat to death, but he don't never stop. You got them type of dogs, but then you got the dogs that thought they was dogs. Then they got the dog beat out of them, and then they was smart. Like, you know what? This time I ain't finna continue to get, you know, beat up and take this punishment like that. You know, I'll live to see another day.
Yep. Like you said, the dog beat out of them. They could, become smarter. Just hey, man. I mean, I got to look at the rest of my career. I got to take another beat like I took last time. I'm gonna have a short career. So let me go on, just wave this white flag and bow on out this fight, and we can regroup and live to fight another day.
And like I said, man, when you take punishment like that, I don't give a fuck if it's a street fight. I don't give a fuck what type that shit stick with you. But unless you just, you know, you got some screws missing in your head. And we know the ones that got screws missing in their head because they don't never really make it to the top. They just warriors. You know what I'm saying? They just warriors. Mm-hmm. They never the top level fighters.
Yep.
You know, but man, Josh Gallimore, what's happening with it, homie? What's good with it, dog? But yeah, man, I'm gonna wrap it up, man. I'm getting ready to wrap it up, man. You got any words in where the people can find you at? You know?
Yeah, you can subscribe to my channel, JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. You subscribe to my channel there. I can drop a link in the comment after this podcast. You just follow me on YouTube, on TikTok, JB Sports New Media, on X, at Briscoe Josh 77071. I'm on Instagram, Gerard Briscoe, and on Facebook, Gerard Briscoe 52. So yeah, just subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I got 2 channels, I think, at JB Sports 3303 and at JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend 9656. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me grow my channel.
Drop a comment, man. Drop a comment in the chat, and I could give you, and I'll shoot you a wrench, and then you can just put the link in there before we get off real quick.
All right, that'll work.
Yep, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, salute to everybody that came through. Make sure that y'all smash the like button. I don't know when I'm gonna come back on, do another live. You know, shit, I really just be coming on here, man, when I really want to, you know, cook on something. That's about it, you know. But enjoyed the show. I enjoyed the show. Hope y'all enjoyed it. But yeah, let me let him drop his stuff in the chat, because man, he was up here cooking. Here cooking, man.
Yeah.
It's good to talk boxing with level-headed, you know, people, man. I got burnt out on all that just ignorant shit, you know. I've been doing this long enough, man. You get burnt out on all the ignorant stuff.
Yeah. Like I say, I got people that just they the fans of fighters, man. They be all in their pocketbook, and
you can't tell them nothing, man. They know everything, but really don't know shit about what's going on inside the ring, and you can't, like, man, it's just.
Yep. And yeah.
Y'all go subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, subscribe to my channel. I'm dropping 2 of my channels in the comment section. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of quiet. I think we got Canelo coming up 2 weeks, but only fight I'm kind of interested on that card is the Danny Garcia, Alexander Lara fight. I'm interested in that fight. Outside of that, man, I really that card is leave a lot to be desired.
I definitely ain't jacking that fight. Oh, you dropped it in the wrong. You dropped it in the wrong. You dropped it in the private chat. They can't see that. You gotta
Oh, they
do
can't see it.
you gotta just go to YouTube and just share your link on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I went to
yeah.
the comment. That's the comments. That's in the private chat. I got to put it on YouTube.
Private chat. Yeah, you got to put it on YouTube. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
as far as that Canelo fight, man, this is the thing, right? You getting
Yeah.
paid 30, 40, 50 million dollars, man. Like you gotta fight somebody, man. Like you didn't fought 40-year-old Triple G. You didn't fought a John Ryder. You didn't fought a Jaime McGill that got fucking damn near 50 fights and ain't fought nobody himself. Like you continue to over and over and over to fight Rudy Poot after Rudy Poot, bro. Ain't nobody trying to see that shit. I'm not supporting that shit. I don't want nothing to do with that. And as far as the rest of the fight card, man, I fuck with Caleb Plant, even though I don't know who the hell he fighting. But I mean, Caleb Plant, man, he fight dogs each and every time he fights. So he deserve a pass, right? So I like Caleb Plant. And Laura and Danny Garcia, that's a cool fight. It's cool. I ain't like if I had like something important to do, I don't think I'll break my neck to watch Laura and Danny Garcia at this stage. I think that fight overdue. I think it should have happened a couple years ago when they first talked about it. But I mean, that PBC card, that shit mediocre to me. You know what I'm saying? That's a mediocre fight card to me. But that's just my opinion. That's just how I feel about it. But anyway, man, I appreciate y'all. Salute to everybody that came through. Make sure that y'all subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. Y'all see it right here. And y'all already know how I do. Tego talking that boxing again. And I'm gone, y'all.
All right, see you.
Yes, sir.